Welcome to another episode of the Nashville Dads. This week we have on Brian Elmquist and Zach Williams from the Lone Bellow. Brian is actually our first guest to ever name an episode in the middle of an episode, so this one will also be known as the Valley of the Diapers. We talked about how they ended up in Nashville, letting your kids fall down at playgrounds, parenting books, dads and changing diapers, and sobriety. I am really appreciative of the guys for taking the time to do a phone call as they prepare to go on tour, and they were really willing to share a lot of stories about their life and about the laughter they share with their family as well. Make sure to go see them at the Schermerhorn in Nashville on September 17th whenever they play with the symphony, and we really hope you enjoy the episode. So, guys, thanks for doing an episode of the Nashville Dads, Brian and Zach. If you could introduce yourself, say your name, that way we have a name with a voice, that'd be appreciated.
Yeah, I'm Zach Williams.
And I'm Brian Elmquist, and we're 2/3 of a band called the Lone Bellow.
And 100% dads.
We're all fathers of the Lone Bellow accounted for in this podcast episode.
Accounted for.
Yes. I know you guys are originally formed in Brooklyn. How did you guys end up moving to Nashville, and how long have you been in Nashville for?
Well, I mean, we really moved to Nashville because we were dads, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, basically for me, I couldn't afford the rent in Brooklyn anymore, and my wife was pregnant with our fourth, and the apartment, it was like a 2-bedroom, 4-story walk-up, and I met with our agent, Jonathan Levine, and he drew a kind of a flower shape around the city of Nashville, and he was like, here's all of the shows that you can play and be home the next morning to take your kids to school. And I was like, oh wow. So yeah, I mean, parenting basically brought me here. It was a very boring logistical reason to move here. But we've since fallen in love with it.
Yeah.
Mine's a little simpler than his. They let him buy a house, and I knew how much money he made.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been here for almost about 8 years, right, Zach? Almost 9. Yeah, it's kind of home now. It's kind of crazy. Me and Zach lived in, Brooklyn, and went to the same diner, and I worked there for a little bit. We always just were like, we're going to be old men here. And then, you have children and things change, but it's not a bad thing. It's just a different thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Brian, how many kids do you have?
I have 3.
You have 3?
I'm not as manly as Zach. He has 4.
I also have 3 kids, and Zach, I genuinely, for the fourth kid, the third kid took up all of my mental space, basically. I feel like with 2, I was overconfident. The third, I'm like, okay, this is a lot. So I don't know how you have a 4th kid, because that just seems like there's going in the deep end and then there's being shoved into the deep end, and it feels a little bit more like that.
Well, you just give up. So
you just look at the world and you go, today is today, and I'm here, and things are beautiful, and let's just see what today holds.
Yeah, I'll check in with them. I'll be like, how's your life? How are you? I don't know. I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing?
That's awesome. Brian, how do you feel like you survive with 3 kids?
Oh man, I mean, we both got pretty amazing women in our lives, so I don't think it would work without them.
Yeah,
I think Zach's, all his kids are kind of in school, so they're at a different stage of us, but I think he could speak to that too. It's like it all just kind of fall apart without them. I don't know. I with kids, I just want to try to live my best example. Just trying to follow my dreams and make time for them and show them and be, and give them time. And it's a hard dance. It's just it takes a lot of intention. You can't just like let the days can go by really quick if you're not intentional, for sure. Yeah.
I do feel like if someone asked me like what's advice you have for either marriage or parenting, I do think my definition of intentionality changes almost like every single day, or my like how much depth that it needs to have changes like almost daily. Because I think I'm being intentional with the kid, and then my wife will be like, "Hey, did you talk to them about this?" And you're like, "Oh, no, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, no, let me. I'll go back in there and ask them more questions about their life. Sorry, my bad."
Yeah, man. The latest book, you just gotta do whatever the latest book says and hope for the best.
Do you have like any, Zach, what's the most recent like parenting book that you read?
I just read Anxious Generation.
Yeah, I read that one too.
I loved how much it made fun of the like New York playground environment.
Yep.
I just felt so seen and known. I mean, the dude just like slams the helicopter parenting movement, and and he spends like 2 chapters talking about how basically how the playgrounds aren't dangerous enough anymore. And I'm just like, this is awesome. This is exact. He's inside my brain. I mean, I started reading it because my oldest is a sophomore in high school, and which is crazy to say. And we've like Braveheart, hold the line, like hold. We've been doing that with social media the whole time.
Yeah.
And she's like, she comes home, she's like, I'm literally the last kid in school to not have whatever, like TikTok or chat blog or whatever they're called. And it was really encouraging to me, because the dude was like, hey, here's how much they're benefiting from you holding off until they're 16 to get social media. So yeah, that's been a really rad book. But also, like, I think Brian and I both, we just kind of are okay with our children getting hurt, maybe more than we should be. I don't know, maybe not. But then this guy like is like same thing. He's just like, yeah, they need to feel pain. They need to maybe break an arm, fall out of a tree, like whatever. And I love that. But
I remember I didn't get the privilege of being in Brooklyn with those folks, but I remember being in like Laughlin Springs over here and like letting my child that nobody else thought they should go down a slide, but they had climbed up there and everything, and I was going to let him do it. And I just stood back to see what would happen, because I think he's going to be okay, right? And this person like just looked at me so appalled that I wasn't there, and he was fine. He like got up, like, but my kids have learned how to fall really well. And I think that's very important in life.
It is, though.
You don't want to, if you fall wrong, you're going to break something. You want to be able to fall like soft and roll with it,
I mean, like, really old people are like taking classes on how to fall now.
Yeah, they are. They are. Yep. And how to get back up. It's we had a physical therapist on once whose entire like client list was older people and teaching them how to work their core muscles. So if they fell, they could pick themselves back up, because it's actually a really needed skill.
Dude, if his job was to like push them down.
I didn't ask that because for legal reasons I didn't want him to lose his licensure or anything like that. But yeah,
like what's that move? The schoolboy move, whatever.
They get up behind him in the back.
Tabletop. It's tabletop. Someone gets on their legs behind him and shoves them from behind. That's a concussion waiting to happen.
I want to bring that back with my older friends. That'd be fun. If nobody gets
if that's a real job, I would leave music forever if that's a real job.
Are you saying table-topping old people is your next line of career? That's what you're looking for?
Yeah.
That's sounds
You will go
fun.
to sleep, or I will put you to sleep. You're in my house now, Grandma.
That is a fantastic, obscure Ben Stiller, Happy Gilmore reference. Zach, I got you.
Thank you.
I think of that in my head more times than I should, and I want to say it out loud, and then I know everyone will look at me and be like, "What are you doing, Mister?" Yeah, that book does do a really good job talking about that, because it mentions a lot of like just how do you teach your kid what risk are okay to take, and that you're there for them whenever they take a risk and it doesn't turn out the way that they thought it would.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that one, and I loved it's like 13 questions before 13. It's like how to like raising girls. That one was really good too. How old are your kids, man?
Yeah, I have an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 2.5-year-old. So I have a daughter, and then son.
Dang, you're in the weeds.
We're
you
in
and Brian both.
the same weeds. That's mine.
Are you really?
Mine is almost 2, but 8
Okay.
and almost 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
That third, it's like, it just ruined me. I've had like 3 conversations with Zach and Kenny where I was like, forget to tell them something important. And literally like just asked for forgiveness and blamed it on her because I can't get my head together since she was born, basically.
It's the third one is so weird, man. Like I always describe it. I'm a stay-at-home parent. My wife will travel for work sometimes, and whenever we only had 2 kids, I would like deep clean something. I'd be like, okay, cool, kids are asleep. I've got like 3 hours before I go to bed. I'll deep clean something. Now, like if all 3 kids are asleep by 9, I'm like, I feel like I just like completed the most, like it's miraculous that I completed this at all.
Yeah, it's true.
You just gotta stop talking to them so much.
That's it. If I stop.
Yeah. My wife went to Europe for a week. My wife went to Europe for a week. And she was like, "How's this house so clean?" I was like, "There's a difference between us. You nurture our children. I ignore them and clean them."
That is sadly
we're just
kind of
outside
true.
on the trampoline for hours, and I'm like, "Oh, look at how clean this house is."
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I supposed to communicate with the kids for the week that you were gone? Because I just kind of slid food underneath their door and came back an hour later to see if they ate it.
Oh, I forgot there was no TV during the week. Oh crap!
Oh crap! Brian, what gender? Or for both of you, what genders do you have? Like, how many boys? How many girls?
No, I've got 3 girls and 1 boy in that order.
Yeah.
Dang.
2 boys and 1 girl, so the opposite of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do find it fascinating. We did 2 girls and then a boy. I do feel like there's a legitimate difference of changing diapers with it. Like I remember the first time changing my son's diaper and just getting peed on so many more times than I ever did with the girls. And it took me a week, I feel like, of getting peed on before I was finally like, okay, man, just point it down in the diaper. That's how this works. Just do that and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll get you, dude. Gotta watch out for that.
It will.
See, our dads didn't even have to like deal with that.
No.
They never changed it.
No.
They my grandfather, my mom was a baby, and she was like a later on, and like she's like the 3rd kid, and my grandma had went to visit her friend who had a family member like pass away, and they were just visiting that night, and it was like 45 minutes away, and my mom like pooped her diaper, which was probably a cloth diaper, and he drove 45 minutes away so I could change the diaper. And I'm like, man, have we lost something? I'm just joking.
Brian's like, bring it back. Bring it back.
Dude, my favorite dad diaper story
Yes.
is from Kaneen. Her dad was like watching the kids. Her mom like left the house like one night, and she came back, and this baby's diaper was like insane packed, like a watermelon was in there. And his wife was like, "What are you doing?" I did it up, and he said, "It says 5 to 7 pounds."
No.
She was like, "Bro, that's the size of the baby."
That is
like, oh.
It's not the weight limit on the diaper, bro.
That's awesome, dude. That is so great.
Oh, that poor kid.
Dude. Yeah.
Do Did anyone warn you guys? I changed the first diaper for all 3 of our kids in the hospital. Did anyone warn you guys about the extremely tarry sticky diaper, or was that the first time you saw that type of diaper? This is really dad. This is about as dad as you can get.
No, that stuff is nasty.
That's
I was
the
like,
nastiest thing ever.
yeah, I was like, you're an alien. I want to put you back. Go back. Oh man, no, that stuff was so gross. Gosh, my wife has this like incredible ability to like, she's the kind of mom that like, we've been on a road trip and one of the kids will start throwing up and she'll just like turn around and like catch all the throw up in her hands.
Yep.
And like throw it out the window like a psychopath.
Oh
like,
man.
Like liquid and stuff like does not bother her. And I leaned on that heavily during the Valley of the Diapers. I was like, hey, you got some like, yeah, there's like a Saint Bernard coming out of that baby. You're gonna need it.
Dude, that's the name for this podcast episode, Valley of the Diapers.
Valley of the Diapers, man. I will put that as the name. I think every dad has done I'm doing with my hands right now the cupping motion. I've done that before. When you see your kids start to throw up and you just do this with your hands and like,
no, dude,
I don't know why. It doesn't help anything. But in the moment, like, you think it will.
No, I'm like, you're now an adult and you need to help yourself. I'm not.
You pick them up by the waist and you carry them and put their face over the toilet.
You guys have only overalls for all of your children at all ages, so you have the hoop where you can just grab them by that.
Oh, yeah.
That, dude. That was my favorite with the babies. Just grab them by the overalls and carry them. That's great.
Dude, we should develop, like, you know those things that they put on horses in cities so when they poo, like, it catches the
just
poo?
catches it. Yeah.
Dude, we should, like, develop a throw-up thing for kids. Like, it's just right there.
I'm looking forward to the sales pitch all 3 of us do to Shark Tank at the same time for this device and for their response.
Dude,
man,
dude, they know how to like manipulate those the people selling that baby stuff, dude. You gotta like, this plastic is old. Yeah, this is, like changing out, like every time we had to like buy a new chair for the baby for the car.
Stroller.
A car seat or something. It's like this. It says like this, and this plastic's going to be here after the human race is gone. But like the plastic is not good enough for your child, though.
Yeah.
But they know how to take advantage of the parents for sure.
Oh yeah, it's like I know you only bought this car seat last year, but now it's a new child, and you see this slight indent on the left side. If a car hits you at 70 miles per hour, that baby will die, and you're like, well, who really, like, that's a really big car wreck, guys. Like, come on.
Yeah,
man. All of my car seats were used.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had the stroller we had for our oldest and still used it for our youngest. And after 8 years of it, we're like, all right, maybe it doesn't really, like, the wheels don't lock in place anymore. That might be the sign that we should probably buy a new one.
We can't be on heels anymore.
No, we can't.
Yeah. Dang.
Since you guys all have 3 and 4 kids, have you ever done like the wagon stroller? Those things with all of your kids in them are like a death trap. You go down a hill and it's like you pick up speed. You've got to like get low to the ground, brace yourself. It's not very fun.
It's funny. I feel like my youngest is 8.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we just missed the like expensive baby gear movement. Like all of the big expensive stroller when my kids were a baby was the Bugaboo. And there's like certain parts of Manhattan where like everybody, had one of those. And now, like, man, I feel like the wedding scene, like people making money off of weddings, like with the wedding cakes or the tuxedos or the dresses or da-da-da. I feel like that's happening now with like baby gear. They're like, oh, all these new parents have no idea what they're doing. Let's take all their money and develop the wackiest stuff.
Dude, we had a double stroller for Cecil and Judah, and it's it's a real wrestling match for sure. I'm so ready to. I'm almost out of it, man.
Yeah.
So we decided to get back in diapers and all that stuff, and I'm so grateful because she's kind of the coolest. She's taken over, but she kind of orders us all around. I love it. But yeah, I'm ready to be done with the kid stuff. I'm ready to say my youngest is 8. I don't want to move that fast, but you know what I mean.
I do.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, like so my oldest is 8, and like the depth of conversation, like she's reading Harry Potter and obsessed with Harry Potter, and the depth of a conversation you can have with an 8-year-old versus a 2 or 3-year-old it's just drastically different. And
the difference between a girl at 8 reading Harry Potter and our 8-year-olds.
I very much relate to the Nate Bargatze joke of him being like, if you have girls and you drop them off at someone else's house, and it's like, I dropped off 2 princesses. They colored, they read, that's all they did the entire time. Versus watching like a boy of the same age, you just like, you almost like bolt things to the wall. You make sure everything is like safely secure because they're just gonna destroy everything. It's just part of it.
What it is, man. What it is. You know, I think what's nice, I don't know, like Zach, but one of my favorite parts about having a child, like we didn't do it on purpose, having a child, like, 6 years after or 4 years after our last one. But it's just how circumstances worked out. But when my firstborn was born, we were like I just all I remember is like just this. We were just like trying to figure out money, moving, like everything was just like trying to get our lives together as like parents and adults and stuff like that. Having Sylvia, my third, is like I'm not past that per se, but I do have a little bit of like. Of a history of knowing that I can figure it out. So I actually notice, and it's just the way my brain works. It takes me a long time, but I actually get to notice her eyes and notice things that I didn't notice in the firstborn. And I'm pretty sure that they're clones because Google thinks they're both the same person.
Oh, really? Like with your photo identifier stuff? Yeah,
it's almost giving me like a second chance, which is pretty nice. And also like, I don't know. It's kind of fun. It's a weird being a new dad at 40, but it's also like the things you don't care about when you're 40 and 30 are so different. You know what I mean? Like I don't
very much
care about. I feel like I care about important things now, which took me a long time. I used to care about a lot of things that didn't matter. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's a tangent, I know, but it's nice to see that. If
we do an episode, or if we do an episode and there isn't at least 1 or 2 dad tangents, I don't feel like I've done an episode correctly. Brian, did you get sober in the last couple of years?
Man, shoot, I'm 8 years next month.
Hell yeah, man!
21st of next month. I can't it's more like California sober.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, yep.
I got like a couple years in and didn't want to like take like drugs for flying. For anxiety, and one of the old heads said, "You're not here for that," and I was definitely not here for that. So I that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's it changed my life. I mean, Zach's seen it. It's been crazy, and it took me a while to feel like myself. I never really felt in my own skin, honestly. So, and then for the last maybe 3 or 4 years, I've been trying to like. Round off the edges, because sometimes your actual real self, like some of those things aren't really nice. So you have to like figure that out.
Nope. It's almost like you knock down a big wall and you're like, hey, I did it. I knocked down the wall. I'm starting to change a big negative thing about my personality. And then you look and you're like, oh, someone's going to get cut if they come across this. I need to smooth this out a little bit.
You realize there was a reason why you drank.
Basically, yes. Yep.
So, I'm grateful. I honestly it wasn't anything I did. I had a lot of friends, including the guy that's on this call. I was very lucky to like just my simple brain just got it real quick because like I have a lot of friends that don't, and I pray for them and I try to help and in whatever way I can. It's a tough thing. Addiction is a horrible thing, and it's a big problem. in our country. And
Yeah.
so yeah, but it's definitely, I recommend it.
Do you feel like being a father influenced you or motivated you to get sober, or did it just kind of happen all at the same time?
Yeah, I was never like some people like have a beer. Maybe even they're not, and they get. So I'm not. We're not talking about those guys. We're talking about like people that's got like a actual like a substance thing. And I just honestly saw the future. I saw 5 years from now.
Yeah.
5 years from then, and I saw me having to see my kid on the week every other weekend. And I really love my wife. I love her even more now. I really loved her back then. And I just didn't want to be, like that cliche.
Yep.
But like that didn't get me to the door. My friends kind of got me to the door, but once I saw it, I got a little glimpse and I didn't like it, and I just I changed this one thing, I don't have to deal with it anymore. So it's like like nobody likes to be told they can do something. So, but if you don't think of it like do it, it's like actually me not doing that makes me able to do whatever I want. Exactly what happened, honestly. So, I'm really grateful, and
Good. Congrats on being sober for 8 years, man. That's really impressive. It's a lot of work, and it's almost like day in and day out. You have to sometimes you have to remind yourself why you're staying sober. So, congrats for doing it.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, I always think of the Jason Isbell lyric of what is it? It's it gets easier, but it doesn't get easy. I feel like it applies to a lot of areas of life.
Yeah, I mean, like it's crazy. Like now I'm so far away from it. It's just my life. My brain has just changed, and that's what happens. But like I remember like when because we were making a record when I just got out of rehab, and like I was driving around, and I didn't have like a thing to take like the thing that make my doubts and stuff stop in my head. So I was just riding around the neighborhood, and I had this one thing that I needed to do. I needed to have a conversation with somebody. And it was eating my lunch. I was literally like just talking about it. Other people in my head. I couldn't get out of my head. I literally like just wanted to like just take my truck and just run into a tree so I could feel something. You know what I mean? I didn't do that, of course, but and then I just called my good friend who was like my sponsor. And he was like, "What are you afraid of?" And this is like, honestly, across the board, it's the best question to ask yourself when you're spiraling in anything, because that's literally the bottom line of what is going on. Like, why are you angry? Is what are you afraid of? Why are you sad? What are you afraid of? And I was afraid that there was somebody that we had to have some hard conversations with. I was afraid I was going to lose a friend. And I immediately like talked to him, and then it was over. And then I realized, okay, this I don't have to live in my head. I can just, they're afraid of, go tell somebody what I'm afraid of. And hopefully there's grace there, but most people in your head, people don't have grace for you, but most people have a lot of grace for you. They have mountains of it. Then they want to give it to you. You know what I mean? It's empowering your friends and letting them be your friend, let them actually be your friend, and
nope. I think it's really, sadly at any age of life, it's hard to assume that you'll be accepted for who you are. And it's hard. It's really hard.
Isn't that the most beautiful thing though?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's cool, man. And then trying to return the favor. I think that's a beautiful thing, man. I mean, that's all I can really do in a world that's weird is just try to be a good dad and try to be a good husband, try to be a good friend. And that's about all I can do.
Yeah, man. Just try to be in tune with the love that was shown to you and just show it to some other people too.
For sure.
How we normally end our episodes is we have 5 questions we ask every guest. They're kind of fun little icebreakers. They're not rapid fire. You have some time to think about them beforehand. And you guys can decide who answers first. So the first question is, did you guys have any backup names for any of your kids? Like names you almost named your children?
Oh, yeah. I wanted to name my last name's Williams. I wanted to name my son William Williams.
Did your wife veto that one? Your wife wasn't a fan of that?
She was with me on it for a long time. Yeah, that was the biggest one. I was really gunning for that.
Yeah, I think judo is maybe Elliot.
Okay.
Elliot, but he is definitely not an Elliot. But
well, Brian, you remember when you almost named your son Herschel Walker?
Okay. Now, this is a better story, honestly, because Ashley, my wife, knows nothing about sports. So my first son was like, we were going to name him Cecil because that was his great grandfather's name on my wife's side, and so I was like, why don't we name him Cecil Fielder Elmquist as a joke, like Cecil Fielder, and she went to her friend and said, he had a good name like Cecil Fielder, and then she came back, it's like Cecil Fielder sounds good. I said, actually, that's a baseball player from the. And then she came back, and I really wanted my second child to be named HW. Actually, I just wanted to call him HW. And then I was and so I was like trying to say that I liked Herschel. I thought Herschel was really cool, and because I really didn't have like a family name that I was really looking for, and I was HW, so same thing. I was like Herschel Walker, but she didn't like Herschel, so she went to the thing. She's like, "Yeah, Herschel Walker. What about that?" And they're like, "That was a football player."
It's a football player.
They didn't know him from a football player. They know him from like the politics.
Politics,
crazy to just know Herschel Walker from his politics. That's absolutely crazy because he thinks like some crazy stuff. Anyway,
he does.
Yeah. Sorry, that's a long.
You're good. Did you guys grow up in Georgia? Are you guys from Georgia?
Yeah.
So Herschel Walker, especially, I feel like you can't. It's a huge mess. I feel like to name him your son Herschel Walker.
It's a fun joke, though.
It is. Next question: favorite TV dad. Now, this can either be whenever I say favorite TV dad, who do you think of as a TV dad, or who do you aspire to be as who makes you feel inspired as a TV dad?
My favorite TV dad is not inspiring. He's just like funny as crap. Is the Modern Family TV dad,
Phil Dunphy? Yeah,
good.
I know that's a curveball, but I love that dude. Inspiring TV dad. I don't watch enough inspiring TV.
You can stick with Phil Dunphy. Phil Dunphy is a solid dad who is pretty charming and pretty fun.
He's just an idiot. Like,
so dumb.
There's this episode where he buys his son a new bicycle, and he does it without asking his wife. And she comes home, and he's like, "I got our son this nice new bicycle." She was like, "He's gonna leave it somewhere. He's not gonna take care of it." And like an hour later, he goes to the coffee shop, and he sees his son's bike like not locked up, so he steals it to teach his son a lesson. Well, long story short, he like stole some other kid's bike, like it wasn't his son's bike. And then the whole rest of the episode, oh my god,
that's so good,
insane.
It's so good.
By the end of the episode, he bought 3 of the same bike and all this stuff
just to make amends.
Yeah, but I love that. Love that dude.
I think the first one that came to my mind for some reason was Tim Allen.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Tim Allen's a good TV dad.
I just only for the fact that I like to like get on a fence and talk to a neighbor.
Next question. This is one of my favorite one to ask dads. Do you have a least favorite kids TV show or movie? Like whenever your kids go to put it on, you almost just kind of walk out of the room because it annoys you so much.
Yes. Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Zach is ready.
Oh, man. I mean, I don't know whose idea it was to do this like lava girl shark
boy or whatever.
It's like it's like CGI from the Doom game from like 1988.
Yep.
And like all of these like kind of famous actors are in it, and I'm just like, how did this happen? This is so stupid. I mean, money, I guess. So I hate that movie passionately.
Yep.
And TV shows. Man, I've stopped paying attention to the ones that Harlan watches. I've just like zoned them out. My kids watch the like Disney TV shows that were made like 20 years ago, but they don't realize how old they are. And they're so stupid. They just make me sick. It's like I don't know the name of it. Like it's not Milo and Otis, but it's like something like that, you know?
Yeah.
But man, it is weird how intense a father can hate a television show.
You hear the theme song and you get bristled immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. Sophia the First
Oh, so bad. I can't stand that show.
makes me just want to set myself on fire. But I love Wild Kratts. Wild Kratts is my
really
jam.
fun. Wild Kratts is really fun.
Wild Kratts is great.
They've been at it forever.
They're good. I like the fact they watch some of the old stuff. I think Coco Melon's from Satan.
It really is though, man.
Yeah. It's a really, like, I feel like those
like
are
Jerry Falwell over here thinking Teletubby.
those are kind of shows that like they use in a communist country to like brainwash. You know what I mean?
You're in Guantanamo Bay and you just have to watch
For real. And if they were doing that to those guys, they should let them go free. Because that is torture.
That's the real war crime.
This is not waterboarding. Is nothing compared to that.
Oh,
like
10 hours of Coco Melon.
An hour to Coco Melon. I'll tell you everything. Just get me out of here.
Just turn up the damn TV.
Oh, it's so gross. Oh my God, it's awful. Man.
It is. It also like destroys your kid's attention span because like every 30 seconds they change the segment. So it's just teaching you to like if you sit around. Yeah, it's no to Coco Melon.
You know, one good thing I did early was I got like a VHS and I had like one of those little big TVs and they have time when they can watch it. They don't have to, but like they have to like put it in, they have to rewind it and set it up. And like they do watch the regular TV for sure, but that's what they watch the most. And they're used to having a way to rewind. It's like, is that kind of a little better than like, there's not a kid's show that's longer than 8 minutes or 15 minutes now, you know? So they don't have like, they can't watch anything over. Like they watch a lot right now is the I actually like this one. It's like this Australian one about dogs or something like that. What's that one?
Bluey? Yeah, man. Bluey's awesome.
Bluey's awesome.
Bro, Bluey slays.
Yeah, but it's like, that's the format is like less than 15 minutes. Like it's like a kid can't watch anything over like, it's kind of crazy. So, I mean, that's one thing I like about like them getting into movies. They watch, like I get them. They're into Beethoven right now, which is really cool.
Oh, seriously?
On VHS, yeah.
That is awesome. Where do you have your VHSs from childhood, or are you going to like McKay's and finding them out there or something?
You can literally go to any Goodwill and find anything.
Okay.
Yeah. For real. Or sometimes eBay. I think I wanted Harry and the Hendersons. That was hard to find.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so. Yeah.
That movie actually aged really well.
That movie
is it's about like gun violence and stuff and like daddy issues. It's really good.
It's good. I mean, I love that movie. Yeah.
Zach, can I start a side podcast with you of just you reviewing children's movies and children's content from a way too deep perspective?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Just you being like, I think what he really meant whenever he left the family, he was symbolizing. Listen, I would happily be a bystander on that podcast. Yeah. Last question. Moment of your kid's life you're most excited to be a part of. You can do just like a general, or you could be as specific as you want. But like, is there anything about like your kids as you watch them grow up, you're like most excited to be a part of that moment with them?
Man, I mean, the first thing that popped in my mind was my high schooler. Basically, like, she got dumped for the first time a couple days ago. Mm-hmm. Even though, like, I mean, the relationship was like a week long, but still, she was really sad, and she was upstairs. They're like breaking up. I was giving her space, and she came downstairs, and it was like bedtime, and my high schooler, like all my kids go to bed no later than 9 o'clock, even now. And which is, I'm sure, is weird, but I don't care. They are doing good in school, and I think it helps. It was about bedtime. She came down and she was like all teared up. She was like, "Let's go on a ride." And I was like, "All right." So she's driving. So she just gets in the car, and she just cranks like the whole Kendrick Damn album, like as loud as the speaker can go. And I just sat there in silence for like 45 minutes. And she just like drove all around East Nashville. And she turned it down for a second. She was like, my buddy was like trying to like, you know, trying to like console me. And he was like, "What's your favorite thing to do?" And she said, "I like to ride around. I like to drive around with my dad listening to music really loud." And he was like, go do that right now. So that's why she like walked down the stairs. And I don't know, there was just some part of me, it was just cool not needing to say anything, but like knowing that she felt safe. And I hope I can hold on to that with her, with all of them. But that was a pretty cool moment.
Damn, dude, that's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
It was cool.
That's so cool. I think mine's more looking forward, because I mean that's amazing. I mean, there's so many cool moments, but like my oldest son and the two boys are taking piano lessons right now. And yesterday, Cecil was just out just by himself with the piano in the studio. You know, it's pretty awesome. Like watching your kids find something that turns them on.
Yeah.
You know, besides Pokemon or something. You know, like, but like I'm excited to see that, because I know like the stuff that like brings me life and stuff like that, and like that sustains me. You know, so I like I like to like I want to be there for them for that, and finding what they love and like and supporting, and I think that's very exciting for me. I think, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. Zach, that's a really cool moment. Having older daughters, it would feel very special for them to go through their first heartache and to find me as any form of a source of comfort. Like that's really cool. I need to find better words to express that would be a very important moment to me. But thanks for sharing that, man, because that moment would stick with me probably for the rest of my life if I was able to be a part of that.
Yeah, man.
How we also end the episodes, we just want to make sure to give you guys an opportunity for like self-promotion. I know you guys are heading out on tour pretty soon. You guys are playing the Schermerhorn, aren't you? So if you guys want to like promote your Instagram, social media, anything like that, if we want to follow you more, come see you on tour, what's a good way to find you guys? You know, all that promotional stuff.
I think if you open up Safari, you type in Lone Bellow, you can find everything you need to know.
Yeah, probably.
Because honestly, I don't know what's going on.
You just say, "Hey, Amazon, play."
You say, "Hey, Siri, who's Lone Bellow?"
Yeah, are you guys excited about going back on tour? Has it been a while since you toured or anything like that?
We got a fun thing coming up here in Nashville, September 17th, where we're playing with the Nashville Symphony.
That's really cool.
I'm really excited about that.
Honestly, we have for the first time, we're not on our heels. I think we have like a record in the can that we're really excited about, and we're going to release it next year, but we're not in a terrible rush. So it's like we're making music and trying to see how we can, like, you know, just like enjoy what we do. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you guys aren't in like the huge like, all right, release an album, let's do promo, play these songs. You're just kind of like, just want to kind of hang out, go on tour, and play music and enjoy it.
We will be there. I feel like January 1st is going to be like, but right now it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of nice, you know.
Yeah, of course. It's good to have a career and remember why you like doing that career from time to time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Guys, sincerely, thank you for taking time today just to hang out and talk for a little bit. I really appreciate it. It means a lot.
All right.
Perfect. Thanks.
All right.
We'll talk soon.
Appreciate it. Thanks,
See
guys.
you, man.
Thanks so much for listening. Please make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Nashville Dads, and make sure to follow us on anywhere you find your podcast, and please give us a 5-star rating. And thank you to Matt Oakes for providing the music for the episode. Catch you next time.